wise ones, to our Chat with Matt, where we discuss the 10 spiritual facts and how they apply to topical and current affairs.
Here it is. This is the way the world works. Wake up. And I'd like to see you every day at some point. I come into my therapy session and you just ask me, okay, what the fuck's going in your mind today, Matt? Okay, because I guarantee you I could put every one of my family members behind me right now and they would agree I need your treatment.
But I don't think I could cope with it, Matt, every day.
You can't, because here's what you do. You just, when I sit down, the most important thing is just say fucking mellow.
So fact number 2, we will die. Informed versus ignorant. We will die, we live. Our conscious soul or our intelligence was in existence before we were born as a human being, and it will be alive or intelligent after our human life is over. All life is eternal. When human beings die, the human brain is removed, so our conscious soul can finally remember intelligence that was already understood before this human life.
See, the sad part about that is you're not supposed to discover that until you're old. My 15-year-old boy, 16-year-old, or for them to understand now that there is no mystery behind death, that I look at my 16-year-old sons and I go, the only thing you have in common with me is you were born into my family with my DNA. Other than that, you were alive. I'm just getting to know you. So they understand that. And the fear of death, of what happened. I mean, again, that fact right there is telling these people exactly what happens. It takes the mystery out. Now you can look at the different religions and see if you think they're accurate, because you know what really happened at the outset and how it ends. Do you get what I'm saying? We spilled the frickin' beans. I mean, unless you can find something in that fact that's written inaccurately, that fact is spilling the beans. This dying thing is not a mystery. It has to do with frequencies and darkness and decisions we make. When we come out the other end, I have friends again, a beautiful friend died of an overdose. I fear not. I know she's there. It's proven. I have elder loved ones that are about to die. I'm not afraid. I know it's proven. There's no more mystery. I can look at these people, and regardless of what any religion told them, I can tell by their life that this unconditional loving Creator is going to welcome them into the frequencies of love with open arms. They're going to look back at their life and go, I fucked up here. This was a job well done. All right, now I get it. That's why I was a human. It was for the fucking punches.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you get how that spills the beans. I look at my kids and I go, do you want to know how this works, or would you like to still have some mystery? It ruins the surprise.
Yeah, and well, lots of things about that. So from the moment we're born, we're moving towards death, aren't we? So
yes.
And I think people have a real difficulty with confronting the idea of their own death, because it's always, it's happening to someone else, or someone else is terminally ill or something. And they don't realize that actually we are all in the process of dying. We're all in the process of moving towards death. So so that's what I think, first of all. And then secondly, as you say, we know through Alex's work with NDEs and all the people he's had on his show talking about research around near-death experience, we know that would absolutely suggest that the soul or the consciousness continues after bodily death. And I've interviewed many people on that subject. I interviewed a guy from the States called William Peters, and he's done a lot of work about the death and dying process and the things that regularly happen. Like you said, like your family members coming to meet you and greet you and help you pass over. And there's a guy over here, Peter Fennick. He's done loads of work about the dying process and the commonalities that happen. People knowing that they're going to die, family members coming to get them, light beings filling the room, all of that, and shared death experiences. And so there's so much research out there that would absolutely agree with that fact, that our conscious soul does carry on.
Okay, so the big difference here in my perception of what you just said and the world's perception is the world believes you need to keep still explaining that you need to keep convincing people there's irrefutable proof out there. And in my world, I'm done with that. Here it is in a nutshell. It's the second fact. Take it or leave it. And then I move on, because that everything you just said is proven. I'm done with the discussion. So if this isn't fair because it spills the beans, but if somebody's in a desperate situation where they're, again, like you said, we're born to live and die. That explains it to perfection. That means, what should we do with the ride? What should we do with it? You can mold it. You're born to die. Like you said, that's 100% accurate. So the fact that that process is still a mystery after thousands of years, what the hell?
Yeah, but I think there's absolutely a reason for that. I think, and I'm sure this is what Alex's message is to some degree, is that we have been programmed to believe that we are not spiritual beings, that we're not consciousness, that we are, just a meat suit.
Right. So there you just, yes. So you're dead on accurate. You just elevated the conversation. That's saying we're moving forward from that. It's proven. And so now the conversation becomes, since all of this is proven and we spit out the other end, let's communicate with the other end. Let's take all of our resources, whatever we want to pool collectively, cooperatively, and figure out, through mediums or whatever. Stop. Of course it's real. Of course there's aliens in space. First of all, declassify that shit. That's a good start. I don't know why you think, who doesn't? Okay, anyways, not to go down that path. But you get what I'm saying is moving the conversation. Everything you've just said now for eternity has been captured in that second fact. We're done discussing it. And if we need to put in the near-death experience and stuff as corroboration so that we can be done with that point. Does that make sense?
It does indeed. But I think, and I get it, and I understand your point and your premise. And you are a person that doesn't want to wallow around. You want to state the facts, and as you say,
because the wallowing around is getting us nowhere. I turn on every single channel and it's continually discussion about what the problem is, what's causing the problem. And what I'm trying to do is say, we got the problem, we're done discussing it, the solution is this fact, now let's move to the next one. What else can we learn?
Yeah, and I'm with you, as I always say to you, I'm with you on that. But right. I think the danger maybe is that because we don't want the people that already agree with us, we want the people that are not aware of this, or we want to awaken people into this, so they need to know about the stuff Alex has done, right, and the research around these things.
Well, and the thing is you understand the dichotomy, okay, the dichotomies that run through. So the fact isn't saying believe this, the fact is forcing them into that dichotomy that says, is it right or wrong? Do I believe it or I don't? Is it dark or is it light? By the language of the fact causes your mind. We're not saying you have to agree with the fact. We have conditions if you don't. You have free choice. It's written. You either say, yeah, that makes sense to me. That's the way I see reality. Okay, I have no problem with it. I'm not forcing you to. You can look at it and go, that's full of crap. And then if you did that, now there's a yin-yang scenario that holds you accountable, that says you maybe are ignorant, you don't understand the fact, you maybe you're captive, you agree with it, but you don't have the ability to confirm your agreement, or you're corrupt. You get that this is all true, and you've got some sort of motive to confuse people about it. Make sense?
Yeah.
That's why you're the therapist. That doesn't make sense with most people.
Well, I think I understand you. I hope I do. Do you feel I do?
No, I can tell you do. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I know we see eye to eye. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay. So I think the gift of that fact, we will die and our consciousness carries on.
What? I'm sorry. Did you get sidetracked? Well, there's an edit. There's an edit for you.
Stop.
It's that bad.
Is this your way of trying to shut me up?
No, I've been doing nothing but learning from you, my friend. You can talk all day. All right, go ahead.
Oh God, I've forgotten what the bloody hell I was talking about. Yes. So what I think the gift of this fact is that if you recognize and acknowledge that you're going to die, then your life becomes more important and you fuck around less, basically.
Amen.
Yeah.
And that's obvious. It needs to become obvious. That says, listen, this is a freaking exercise. There's two options. We either got put here or we signed up for it, right? Okay, so I'm either here by choice or I was forced. Now, logic on that says the creator is benevolent. He's not forcing anybody to do anything. The source. So I chose to become a human being.
Yeah.
Now, why did I do that? Common sense would suggest the difficulty. There's a purpose. I came, like you said eloquently the other day, that says I'm here to experience that darkness. I can't do that up in the light. I want to take a few punches. And so if you look at your typical patient that's in despair, crawling for answers, it's a case where just look at it. If you're in despair, it's a paradigm in your head. It could be changed. Your despair is another one's pleasure. You're choosing things that are taking, like drugs or alcohol. And that's another thing with drugs. You have the Delta 8 is legal over here. And the Delta 8 is giving you like THC and a trace. Okay.
You're talking about cannabis.
Yeah. Well, it's cannabis, right? It's like the CBD and the THC and the medical marijuana. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. So let me stay off it.
As we said last time, I agree that you can change your paradigm. You can change your way of thinking. And to some degree, you can have control over your suffering. However, I'm not fully with you on that, because it's easy for us to sit here saying that. But if you're somebody that has had systematic abuse, or you're in ongoing suffering right now, it's really hard. It's hard to say to those people, look, you chose this existence. I understand you spiritually, and I believe that, but it's very hard to say that to somebody who's in that real deep suffering right now, is it not?
Alas, the importance of the facts. Okay, we take them to this fact. They decide for themselves. The moment they have to contemplate this fact that says, I was alive and I will die, it takes that person's mind and it brings them to where we are. They're now having this conversation. That changes things. They can come begrudgingly, whatever, but the moment you give them the hard, cold truth that says you chose to be here, most likely, and you're here for the difficulty, that sentence right there that's what treatment is when you go to treatment, it's not necessarily the therapist, it's the stories that people tell, because God speaks through different people and all of a sudden it relates. So that's where you said that complicated situation, I've been abused, I've this, that, my mind is fucking upside down, how can God love me? All those things go away with a better understanding of how this all works. And that's fact 1 and 2. Okay. They're miles ahead of where they were with just those two thought processes. We're not indoctrinating them with what we think they should believe. We're saying this is what we see as common sense truth. Now, from that, your paradigm should derive. Now you get your independent thoughts because you've got a foundation of what human beings have discovered as accurate. Take that part. Now go figure out your relationships with your wife and your kids and all that stuff. But at least you got a foundation of understanding the way this thing works. And if we take them through all 10, they'll be crystal clear how this works. We'll see.
Okay. So I've told this story before, but I'd like to tell you. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, I would lie awake in bed trying to work out where I was before I was me now in this body, in this life. And I would rack my brains and try, my little 5-year-old self, really try to work out where I was. And there was absolutely no question in my little young mind that I had been before somewhere. No question at all.
Yeah. What? Well, that's not surprising. You probably have been. Of course. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, but
So,
what I mean is in the sense of our consciousness was before and will be after.
right.
So I kind of got that message when I was 5 years old. How did you get that message? How did you come to believe that or know that?
Just no. Yeah, all the way through my life, being raised a cat. Well, not 18 years of Catholic, but always a Christian. The whole premise of life before human life never occurred to me because it wasn't part of that indoctrination.
No.
I would think it first occurred to me when I discovered Scientology, when I first understood who L. Ron Hubbard was.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't go down the path, but I was curious because the reason L. Ron Hubbard was able to lure so many people is because he preyed on that anxiety feature. Are you walking through your life with anxiety, uncertainty, these types? And we all are,
Yeah.
especially at a young age where we're confused. Everybody's nervous about this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so he was able to say, this is, and it might have happened way before that. I have no idea where Ron Hubbard got his ideas, but he took the mind on a journey backwards. This is the first time I saw that. And then you couple near-death experiences where, and then and again, I don't know a lot about all the religions, but I believe if you go back to the oldest religion, which I think is Hinduism,
Yeah.
their belief is steadfast with the evidence in their near-death experience.
Yeah.
So they've been having those. The Hindus did it, and they're going, we're taking this proof, and this is what we believe. And from that, it seems like the other religions evolved based more so on human beings rather than the divine type thing.
Yeah.
Statues or whatever it is our portal to the divine. But truth be told, and you get this, it's all a bunch of hocus pocus in this regard. You can switch frequencies into the frequencies of true love and peace through your own volition at any time. And if you don't believe me, I'm taking you to the next Craig Finn concert. We're all one big family. Everybody loves Craig Finn. He goes up. It was church or better. That's it. I was totally in fucking heaven while walking this planet on Earth. And that happens every day. Then I came down here to Hastings and there's a nice band on the river playing. Yeah, come on, man. That's as good as it gets on this planet. And I sure as hell don't have any money.
Okay, I want to get into the darkness the darkness and of this plane and what I think is going on.
Beautiful.
And see your thoughts about it. So I think many people think the global powers, the global elite, whoever they are absolutely engaging in trying to depopulate the planet. Do you sign up to that?
Yeah, I do. Well, when it comes to the global powers, again, you gotta go into the Star Wars realm. You just gotta raise your mind a little bit out of your little immediate box here and start thinking globally or universally or something like that. Because again, the intelligence is there, and the people who control the planet. I mean, look at this planet could go one of two ways. What's they call it, the red light district, right? Somewhere over there. What is that in? What country is that in? The red light district where it's known everything goes. You can do drugs and hookers and all that stuff.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
In the Netherlands.
All right.
Yeah.
So we could have a whole world that's just like Amsterdam. The thing is free. Okay. Or we can have one that's controlled. Okay. And in my world, I'd like it free like Amsterdam, and be damned what happens to the human beings. At least they were free. You know what I mean? If I had control of the planet, I'd free everybody. And these people don't. They don't. And so if you look at the wars, I mean, these people all have each other's cell phone numbers. These Ruskies, man, they're always grabbing turf.
Yes, Ukraine.
So,
yeah, I don't buy it.
The entire planet should support these people's plight in their fight against oppression and control. It's a yin yang slam fucking dunk. And that's why I can walk the planet talking in a masterful way because that's obvious to me. Okay. And the people who are fighting the American deep state, both Democrat and Republican, the establishment deep state, those that are opposed to that are fighting for freedom. They are right. The others are wrong. If you support the status quo, you are wrong. You are a danger to my freedom. And that's why when we do the first fact, it's crystal clear. And if you disagree with the first fact, you become a danger to the individual liberties of others.
Yeah, I agree. But hold on a minute though. You're saying freedom or control. War is about freedom or control.
Yeah, always.
And yeah, okay, on the surface, maybe. Yeah. So on that level, absolutely agree with you. But maybe I'm naive. Explain this to me. So with the whole COVID bloody nonsense, the whole planet, with a very few exceptions, played ball, yeah? Got on, did more or less the same kind of stuff. The whole planet. So that proves that there is a machine that can control the whole planet. And then all of a sudden, we have a war between Ukraine and Russia. But how, like you say, they've all got each other's mobile phone numbers. How are you all on board for this issue? And then in the next breath, oh, you're having a war between yourselves. I don't buy it. I don't know. Is that naive to say that?
No, that's not naive. That's fucking common sense. It's all a charade. It's all a charade. And again, they've been able to position it. Again, I'm going to say this. If people haven't read George Orwell, that's the crucial component you're missing. George Orwell in Animal Farm clearly explains how you can use words to manipulate a narrative. Okay, that's what's happening. They're using words to manipulate the narrative, which is manipulating the minds. They're creating useful idiots. Now, Orwell in 1984 shows what happens on a global scale, okay? And that is that they have control over the history of this planet. They have control over the present of this planet, which means they have control over the future. It's all about the narrative. Whoever controls the narrative controls the mind. So you and I are 100% accurate. We recognize it's a charade. It's obvious it's a charade. It's a demonically controlled charade. All right. But they were perceived as loony.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get that narrative back on track. So let's go to fact number 3. That's what we're doing. We're taking the narrative back.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So what you just said, you prefaced it by saying, am I crazy or am I? No, you're not. You're stating obvious, self-evident truth. It needs to become that. We all need to see the world accurately like you just described it. That's the way it is. And we can't have tolerance. They can disagree. We want to hear them, but you and I, to solve this problem, need to move above it and on to the next fact.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm still going to hold your feet. I'm still going to hold your feet to the flames with fact 2.
All right.
Yeah. So last time we were talking about, so keeping on with the idea of depopulation, last time we were talking about the adverse reactions of the vaccines, etc. And I wanted to ask you about food shortages, because apparently, particularly in your country, there's been a lot of food processing plants that have burst into flames or been destroyed. Are you aware of all of that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of it, but I believe you.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe you. Yeah. I just haven't seen it. But again, I see a way out of this. The only way is for us to proceed with this and through one mind at a time. Okay, because that thing isn't going to turn itself around. The corruption is so embedded. Okay, and again, you have to understand how this works. We went through it a little bit. You can have good intentions and get inside. And let's say that I'm inside. Let's say I'm who's a knucklehead from Russia? No offense. Putin. Okay, let's say I wake up as Putin, and one morning and I say, you know what, this whole communist thing is bullshit. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to free everybody. All the people around him will kill him that morning. You know, it's embedded. You don't get to change that monster from within, even with the best intentions. And so the only way to compete with that monster is through truth. I kid you not. It's by us taking people and making them recognize that monster is there. Oh,
Yeah.
I never really realized. Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah. And it's amazing to me how absolutely unaware of all of these things the majority of people are.
But I forgive them for this reason. Okay, my in-laws have health problems. They're just going to believe what WCCO tells them each day. They got better things to do than try to figure out if they're being lied to. Okay, so the whole mass of people that are now what we call sheeple. They've got their minds, they've figured it, now they're useful idiots. We need to reach those people. We can't cry foul, we can't blame them. We simply have to take steps to reach into their minds and saying, you're getting fucked over, dude, come this way. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'm not into blaming anybody, certainly not. You only know what you know.
I'm not into forgiving anybody. You know me, even though that last sentence gave them permission, I see them as fucking ignorant and a big time problem.
Yes, because because if everybody woke up and knew half of this, then the whole globe would change, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that's a big if. If everybody lifted weights, they'd expect this, and it doesn't work that way. Okay. No, listen. This is a no small task. But who freaking cares? We got nothing better to do with our afternoon than see if we can't freaking reach some of these people. And if you and I go through the rest of the facts, and again, we don't have to dilly-dally around with them. We can change them anytime we want. Let's read through them, see what we think. Are these the most important? No, we believe human sexuality needs to be one of the top 10 because everybody's fucking confused about this thing. So we move that one up. So in other words, we're writing them as best we can, trying to elevate them as quickly as we can to this understanding, not ours, but a lot of people in the world understand this shit, right? We just need to get everybody to come on with us here. And that starts with your podcast. Somebody shares it, somebody buys into it. We simplify it, we put it into commercials. We do whatever we can to get the people, because once we get it, again, you watch, when we go through the top 10 facts, imagine once we're done, if I sat those facts on Nancy Pelosi's desk, she would have a heart attack. She would be so freaking, if somebody were to say, Nancy, I want you to tell me yes or no on these top 10 facts, what you think, talk about exposed. It would expose anybody, even your most conservative Republicans, whatever the parties are. It just holds us all accountable to these yin yang choices we're making. And the biggest of all is freedom and control. But we'll see if that holds true as we go through the rest of them. We'll see what you think.
Yeah. So, okay. So look, I'm going to challenge you.
Please
I'm going to challenge you with love. Because you're already there and you keep saying, right, that's that fact, let's move on to the next one. And it's like a ladder, and once we've got that one, we can move on.
Right.
But I think what I'm trying to hold you back to is you have to help people get there. You have to lead them towards, and sometimes I think maybe you're a bit impatient or dismissive, dare I say, in that.
No, I am impatient and dismissive.
Yeah,
but someone has to be. Everybody else is giving them kumbaya hugs, and we're sliding into the abyss. So, but I'm with you. So you say, if I have impatience for these people and I want to bring them along quickly.
Yeah.
That's the concept of the fact, saying, how can it be simplified and prioritized so that somebody can come along quickly? And again, I could give a rat's ass if they agree with them. I just want them to read them and think about them. Because the moment I get them to read them and think about them, I've now held them accountable. They have to fall in the yin yang, and now they understand their decisions. I guarantee you, as much as I love people, there are so many people that walk into a voting booth or open their mouth on in a conversation that don't understand the simplicity and the importance that the facts will bring them. Once they understand there's a dichotomy and they look at this tree of life and that snapshot goes into their mind, they're fucked. They're now accountable to anybody else. Again, it's all about hearing the same song. The only people that when you and I understand these top 10 facts, if we can ask somebody, have you read the facts? And if they haven't, we know they don't know what we know. And if they have, we can discuss it. We've heard the same song. That's crucial. That's how you get the narrative. Think of this like, what did they do? They built a tower to the top of Babylon, and then they switched up all the languages. Okay. You and I are coming into the world with a brand new language. We're new words. This is what the words mean. And if we do that, it helps people think for themselves. We're not indoctrinating them with thoughts. We're indoctrinating with them how your thoughts are created, how the world works, how you create your own lucid dream. We're explaining how that's done, not how to do it. Make sense?
Yeah. And I suppose what I'm doing is I'm looking at your facts and I'm telling you, I'm trying to share with you all the, because you're saying you want people to look at the facts and then think about them. And so that's what I'm doing. I've taken each of your facts and I'm thinking about it and throwing a load of stuff in there that I know
you're thinking about it too long. You know, we're bored with this. Well, let's move on. No, I'm kidding you. This is what it's supposed to do. Can you see the discussion it causes to have? That's an important discussion. That's the most important thing is you're now taking the Orwellian narrative. What will we be discussing? Russia and Ukraine? Should we be discussing the Olympics? Hey, let's discuss what's most important in this world for a change. That's what they're designed to do. And if it doesn't accomplish that, let's rewrite fact 2. Let's make it accomplish that. What is the thought process that has to happen surrounding human death? We will die. What's the answer? That you should know so you can live your life with a proper understanding of what's going to happen when this thing ceases. All right. Anyways, fair enough.
Yeah. And so, okay. And so when you die, the research that we have so far points to the fact that there is going to be no fiery hell or heaven or God judging you. You will judge yourself because you will experience in 360 degrees how you've impacted the world, how you've hurt people and what that's felt like for them, and also the good things that you've done. You will re-experience all of that. So you will be your own judge and jury.
Amen, sister. Okay, now at what age do we tell kids this?
From when they're born.
There you go. Okay, but by doing it,
but we don't, do we? But we don't.
We don't. No, but because most parents don't know what you just said. They don't know that. I mean, it's out there, but they haven't had it presented eloquently to where they can think about it and agree with it themselves.
Well,
do you get what I'm saying? Is what we're trying to do is that wisdom, again, to go through the life with the comfort of what you just said. Now, I disagree a little bit in terms of we just judge ourselves. Yes, I believe we see our own fate, but I think there's a case to be made that, you know, because again, we can get into more detail because there's some splitting hairs in terms of an unconditional loving creator.
Yeah.
Unconditionally. Okay.
Yeah.
And those conditions being, if you were so selfish that even at the moment of the most important moment, you would never seek redemption.
Yes.
You sealed your own fate. Okay. But again, the beauty is we know it will happen. So what happens if I do this behavior, if I act in this manner? What happens when I die? That's where all the medicine should be on me. And when I die, you guys are still trying to get a hold of me. We're doing a test here. Okay, I'll take one for the team here, and see if I can get a hold of you.
So what do you disagree with me on then?
No, I'm saying that because now I think you said that I mean, do you think it has to be? I guess we seal our own fate, but that's not fair. It's not fair in this regard that I'm 100% responsible for my fate. Okay, because I was born stupid. I mean, don't put a stupid cap on me and then hold me accountable. You know what I mean? I'm born into the world. They put this brain on me. Now I'm done. I got to figure my way through this planet. And if I do that wrong, is there some sort of accountability? Do you get what I'm saying or not?
No, split hairs. You said you want to split hairs.
Well, no. Well, so you said, so do you believe that our condition after death, the circumstances by which we find ourselves, are completely ours through our own volition at the end of it? I mean, at the very end, we get to decide. There is no judgment whatsoever.
I don't believe we're judged by God. I don't. I think the source consciousness, God, the universe, whatever you choose to call it, is infinitely compassionate and loving. And that's the whole point. I think that there is no judgment from the source. I think we're here to learn. As you say, we're ignorant, we fuck up, we hurt people. And I think when you die, the near-death research suggests that all of that is revealed to you. And there's nothing, well, what better punishment, or if you want to put it that way, than if I hurt you, actually being in your experience of me hurting you? What better way to be held to account?
That's redemption. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Again, it has to be that way. That's a logical conclusion, because again, the source is benevolent, no question about it. And there's zero chance that we're being held accountable for our design deficiencies, right? I mean, he gets it. Yeah, hey man, this is a shit show down here, man. It ain't fun. And so what that means though is there is conscious souls that are not in human bodies that are in the light, and there's definitely some in the darkness. Yes. So the question is, how do you end up in the darkness? And again, if you look at this scheme of communism, okay, somebody's got to end up in the darkness. Who do we roll the dice on? All right, well, let's start with the Nazis and the communists. Okay, chances are these guys are going to the darkness. But then again, what if our Russian leader has a change of heart one day? Moments before his deathbed, he goes, man, I just got wrapped up in all this stuff, man. I'm sorry. And that's where the shack comes in, is because that type of convolution that says, can somebody who's done something so egregious totally be forgiven? And the answer is yes. But he'd have to save his soul. Chances are he won't have that change of heart between now and death. Okay, and this is where words become so important, because we have no way to reach this guy, but we have a way to reach his people and to change their minds about him, that type of thing. So it's all about the narrative. It's about the language, and you have to plant the seed somewhere. And that's where I am so elated with you and the reach out you're doing and work. I mean, look what you're doing and it ain't for me or you. Who's going to benefit if you and I succeed with this?
Everybody.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I digress.
But to be awoken in their own way.
Yes.
Because
can you see that's because I think I get the feeling sometimes people are concerned that we're going down a path with some sort of indoctrination process that we want people to listen. No, but people have that concern. My immediate family members, Matt, what makes you think you've got the facts? Okay, that's the biggest thing, is are these people suggesting they've figured out the truth? And we answer that because we haven't figured out the truth. We've figured out the thought process to establish truth. Okay, there's a logic to establishing truth. It's in my book. It's called The Logic of Truth. And it talks about evidence. There's right or wrong and this and that. So the facts don't tell you what to think. They tell you how your thought process works. And in doing that, they're forcing you to understand some of the most important principles of this existence first.
Yeah, I don't care how people awaken, whether it's through me, you, Alex, whoever. I couldn't give a shit how people are awakened. I want them to be awake, because if you're asleep, you are the reason that I'm enslaved. You are the reason that I'm not free.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And that passion right there, Okay. You and I are just conscious souls. All right. The only thing that separates us from America's founding fathers right now in this conversation is time. It's just a later time. We have the same ideas those men dreamed of, but they only had muskets. We've got podcasts. We fight with our words.
Does reincarnation feature in your belief system?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of the flip side, man. Anything goes. It's better than Disney World. I can't freaking wait. I don't want to go early, but I can't wait. What? Hell yeah, man. Listen to some of the stories. You get to do whatever you want. Yeah. And this is how I talk to my kids. Seriously, because they're so they're so immersed in my world. I had a conversation with them yesterday. One of the friends was playing a really cool Eagles tune from the 70s.
Yeah.
Totally enamored with it. Life in the Fast Lane.
Yeah.
And I go, the thing is you're listening to this music, but the part you don't get is what I got to go through listening to it in the 70s. This tune's on the radio and we're doing this, frisbees and things like that. But then I'm able to go, don't worry about it. After we die, we'll go to the 70s together. I totally see the world that way, and so do all my kids. They know this is all an exercise.
Yeah.
And to enjoy the exercise comes through giving.
So are you not frightened at all of death?
No, I just don't want to die. I don't want to get killed.
You don't.
But I don't worry about that, because I walk through the valley. I'm serious. There was somebody sitting in the sun one day that says, dude, if you got God on your side, there ain't nothing could touch you. Because again, when you start speaking these types of words, I mean, what is censorship? They're only censoring people like me. That's it. The only thing that ever gets censored is if the truth gets too close to exposing them, they got to shut it down. Okay. In countries outside of America, they put you in jail, like Hong Kong or Tiananmen Square. In America, they just kick you off Facebook.
Yeah.
Or, but it's the same silencing thing. The only people who are silenced are ones that are saying the apparatus is fucking corrupt and we're sick of it. And COVID was blah, blah, blah. You're gone. January 6th, you're gone. You have wrong opinions on those two topics. You're not able to use, you're not going to be in a Google result. You kicked off YouTube. Your Facebook's gone.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's just we're in a different time, and you and I, and this is what I've told, I see us no different than the founding fathers. Let's go. But we're going to fight with words. And then the thing is about words is you can increase the size of the bomb. Okay. Like I can go, I'm not going to use any name per se, but I can go, boy, I tell you what, you're a communist. So I think you're a piece of shit. Okay. That was a nice little grenade. Okay. Actually, you're an old communist. What are you, 80 years old? Beautiful. Hey, you got about 20 more years to live. As soon as you die, you're going to become the sphincter on everyone you control. Okay. Now that's a big word punch. Okay. You want me to keep getting harder? I can keep hitting them. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You fight with words. And this is where they were able to position Donald Trump as some fucking lunatic. But trust me, he was fighting with words. If you look at every single statement Donald Trump made, there was somebody who attacked him first. It was a response. And the people he was fighting, he was fighting the globe. All of the English government, all of the governments of the world were so happy for COVID to get rid of this guy because that guy was a problem.
Yeah.
And now they haven't extinguished him. He's been certainly derailed in terms of most of America think the guy's a lunatic. Okay. But the message and the words that came from his mouth will never go away. And those words were, this is nuts. Why am I running for? They asked him, will you run for president? Only if I have to. So he tried to go in and change that apparatus from within. And you saw, outside of assassination, they did everything they could to beat this guy down. And it's just amazing how many people turn their backs. Donald Trump's this horrible guy. And then, but Biden's been getting millions of dollars from the fucking Chinese. Who cares? This is why I don't get immersed in that crap. That's talking about the problem. The problem's been established. We've got deception. Nobody knows what's true anymore. And if we don't create this portal, man.
He's global.
I call it a cesspool because it keeps going round and round. It's nothing but intellectual shit. That's where the facts are crucial. We got to get, let's you and I take it above. There's a bunch of people that'll follow us up here.
The global elites, but they also think that they can end up being immortal, don't they? Whether it's through transhumanism or doing their weird rituals where they drink blood and all the rest of it.
Just think about that, and again, each one's on a spiritual journey, so I have no idea. I mean, it could be some of these human beings are directly. I mean, again, I'm a like Men in Black movie,
yeah,
right, where the aliens are walking. None of that shit surprises me. I don't know why I would. I have no freaking idea. I mean, I'm walking the streets of downtown St. Paul. There's all kinds of characters that could easily be in a movie set. And some sort of alien inside. So I don't know the extents. I just know I want to have a conversation about it and start treating it like it's obvious. That these guys have some really sinister motives that were behind this COVID thing. And those that are prepared to defend their side without evidence is intellectual pollution. We can't keep trying to convince these people. We have to move forward with the people who are willing to see. And again, it's not an indoctrination. We're saying, think about it. And if you agree, look at this. We're going to the portal of peace and watch what we're going to be able to do in doing so.
Yeah.
Call me a dreamer, man. You're a therapist. The beauty is I've got the ability to know if I'm insane or not at all times.
Well, what I think as a therapist is that you have to have hope. And when the price of being awake is you see the illusion all around you, and life is not as you imagined it was, and that can be very, very frightening. So you have to have hope.
It could be frightening. It could be frightening, but imagine if you recognize, wow, it's a lucid dream. Holy shit. I can walk up to anybody and talk to them because I just went in and out of their paradigm. All this accountability I thought I had, and all these people were they don't even know I'm here. This is cool, man. I'm a ghost. So in other words, it can be the most enlightening, fun thing, especially if they understand how through our own volition, we can go to the frequencies of peace. If I got somebody that's downtrodden, like let's say there's an alcoholic and he's all down, I was like, I'm gonna put my arm around him, I'm gonna go show him some freaking peace. And go, dude, look at this. You're sitting in the bar. Look where I'm sitting. Okay. And if it's the frequency of alcohol, let's look at an alternative. When's the last time you had Copenhagen? Let's try that instead. No, you get what I'm saying? So no matter what, yes, there's a detriment to truth, and that is accepting harsh realities.
Yeah.
Might be troubling. Hey, guess what? UFOs are real. Is that troubling? You'll be fine. Okay, your day has not changed now that you know something's real. So it doesn't need to be troubling. It just needs, you got to wake them up. And that's the perfect, and again, when you say wake up, that's what it is, because we're in a lucid dream, which means we're sleeping. And the consciousness can awaken to where it's recognizing the lucid dream. You're aware of it. That's simple stuff. That's Dalai Lama 101. All the Dalai Lama does is walk around this planet 1 second behind reality, and he watches the fools try to figure it out. He's just above it, one frequency. And there's a lot of peace right there. Yeah. Watching the shit show rather than being a pinball in it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an excellent thing to end on, I think. So we're well over the hour.
Did I tell you how much I love you?
No.
I do. This is really, you're again, this is a dream of mine. And you are such, it's just a beautiful thing. I'm excited to watch it unfold. But I think we should meet every day.
That's it, wise ones. If you enjoyed the chat with Matt, then please like and subscribe. Fact number 2, we will die.